day's a day, a bad luck's always a coming my way.
When it comes to movie billboards here in Hollywood, I absolutely love them. And this one here for the Exorcist believer absolutely takes the cake. I think today is an excellent day for an exorcism. When it comes to horror movies, I think my favorite part of the genre is religious horror. In fact, one of my all-time favorite movies is the first Exorcist. Now, I'm just gonna be honest with you. I saw the trailer for Exorcist Believer and I'm kind of up in the air about it, but the poster, man, this is chilling. It's a little odd standing here in direct sunlight with this giant Exorcist Believer poster, the billboard behind me, but it's kind of fitting, right? I mean, horror and Hollywood and Grimm Life Collective, it's all entwined. Now, when I said that it is an excellent day for an exorcism, I wasn't kidding. You see, a friend of ours and next door neighbor is Eileen Dietz, who famously portrayed the face of the demon from The Exorcist, Pazuzu. We're gonna head over to her house, have lunch, talk a little bit, and yeah. Let me introduce you to Eileen Dietz. Now here's a bit of trivia for you Exorcist fans. Exorcist Believer is coming out in 2023, while the original Exorcist came out in 1973. Now, do you know the last name of Reagan? Her mother's name was Chris, but what was the last name of Reagan and her mother? You can see it in this frame. MacNeil, M-A-C-N-E-I-L, which is right there. I know it has absolutely nothing to do with The Exorcist. Well, what we're filming today, but how interesting is this? I saw this walking back to the car. That's kind of fun, at least for me. I love little things like that, things that you notice. Let me get this on record right now. I don't care if the movie's good or if it sucks. I need this as a poster. Man, I love it. The black and white, everything about it. It's just so otherworldly, demonic, if you will. Now, before we meet up with Eileen, I wanted to take a small trip down to Hollywood Boulevard because the director of The Exorcist, William Friedkin, died recently, and he has a star down here on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. And I figure it's a perfect time to put him in a video. When it comes to trying to find somebody's name, their star on the Walk of Fame, it's really, really hard. I mean, the entire Hollywood Boulevard is filled with them. But in order to find William Friedkin, you gotta come down to Grauman's Chinese Theater, which is this right behind me. And his star is right over here.
We look back at the career of Hollywood director William Friedkin, a man who thrilled and terrified us.
They were the box office hits that made William Friedkin one of the most sought-after directors in Hollywood in the 1970s and redefined their genres. The Exorcist, which made horror big business. And The French Connection. Friedkin, the once documentarian, bringing gritty realism to a lowish budget film starring relative unknowns, Roy Scheider and Gene Hackman. That death-defying car chase, often called one of the best in film history.
The winner is William Friedkin.
The French Connection winning 5 Academy Awards, including Best Picture and Best Director for Friedkin. A year later, Friedkin terrifying audiences with The Exorcist, starring Linda Blair as a 12-year-old possessed by demons. Fans lined up for hours in the cold. Theaters sold out of tickets. And The Exorcist became one of the top-grossing movies ever, about $1.3 billion in today's dollars.
When it comes to the Hollywood Walk of Fame, anytime a star dies, you can always come out here and find different wreaths and flowers. And up until yesterday, I think that there was a couple different wreaths and flowers here on the pavement. I think there was some yesterday too. They were all dead, so somebody cleared them away. But that's fun. William Friedkin, the director of The Exorcist, and so many other things, but The Exorcist is why we're here today. All right, now I think we are ready to go see Eileen. She's such a sweetheart. All right, baby. Eileen Dietz is expecting us. Go ahead and knock on the door. I'm a little nervous, just to be honest. Oh, there she is.
Hello. What do you want?
We came to talk to you.
I'm sorry.
Howdy, neighbor.
Eileen is very busy. You're gonna have to talk to me. I am Pazuzu.
Take your time.
It's hard.
You're good.
My favorite moment, besides being cast, when they said it's a wrap. I'll talk about shooting Pazuzu.
All right.
That was my favorite. And who knew that what was going to happen with that? But it's a good story. Okay.
Sitting here with Eileen Dietz from The Exorcist. Like, you are the face of the demon, Pazuzu. I mean, you've done a few different things in there, but like your face is your face is completely recognizable in the world of horror. And you're absolutely beautiful. How can something so terrifying come from something so beautiful?
Thank you very much, but it's called acting.
Acting, okay.
And I had a lot of makeup on. I had 3 hours worth of makeup.
So we do this crazy thing called the Grimm Interview. It's just one question.
Okay.
And for some people, it's a big question. And in making The Exorcist, looking back to whenever you made that movie, is there one thing where you go, man, I wish I can relive that? Like your most favorite memory from working on The Exorcist?
I think it would have to be when we shot Pazuzu.
Yeah.
Which was the very last day of the shoot. And I wish to this day that I could ask Dick Smith how the idea came to him, since it's become the icon of the entire movie. And it was the actual last day of shooting, and when the film from pre-production to post-production went 14 months, which is unheard of. This was the last day. And it was so great because I had been cast in a commercial in the afternoon, and I couldn't get out of that to shoot The Exorcist because I thought The Exorcist would be wrapped. Anyway, the whole crew knew I had to get out of there by lunchtime. So they put the makeup on, which is so familiar to everybody, which came from a makeup test. Okay. And the crew moved so fast. And God, it was so much fun. I didn't think it took a lot of acting. I thought that I was there and I did what I did. But as a side note, when they did The Heretic, they actually fired 2 people because they couldn't play Pazuzu. And then they bought my film for The Exorcist and put it in there. But I just loved it. The crew knew I had to leave. They were just setting up shots as quickly as they could. We got it shot. We did 2, 3, 4, 5 takes. Threw me in the makeup room, washed everything off, put me in a car, and sent me out to do the commercial.
Well, how long did you have the makeup on for?
Well, we shot all morning.
Okay.
So I did have it on for, probably 3 or 4 hours.
Did you have any kind of desire to just kind of go out in public dressed like that? Like, if it was me, I would have wanted to. I think any horror fan would dressed up like that would be like, I'm going to go to the grocery store.
Well, people have tried to do it for Halloween, but it's
not as good as you.
It's a very, very hard makeup to replicate for some reason. I don't know why. It's just very hard to put it together. But in answer to your question, no. All the makeup I wore in this thing, you really just, it takes longer. It seems to take almost as long to take makeup off as it does to put it on when you do a lot. I was in Turks and Caicos, and I had all this makeup on with one bad eye, and I wanted to go out and play. But it takes longer to take the makeup off because they have to do it piece by piece by piece. Yeah. So, no, I don't want to go out in that makeup. I think most actresses are fairly shy.
Okay.
And, not when the camera's on you, but I'm fairly shy. And I certainly wouldn't want that kind of recognition.
So we've done a few different shows together,
yeah.
Different horror conventions, New Jersey Horror Con, Midsummer Scream. There's a lot of celebrities that do in-costume photo ops. Would you ever think of donning the makeup again, if possible?
First of all, it takes 3 hours to put that makeup on. And we tried that at Monsterpalooza, and it just didn't work.
Fair enough.
So now what I do, I wish I had it with me, I have the face of Pazuzu on a stick. So when I do conventions and they do photo ops, I can take the thing and put it right in front of my face. And then you have a picture of me and Pazuzu.
Can we show this?
Oh, it's kind of like this.
Very similar to this. Here's Eileen and Pazuzu.
Yeah. So it's kind of like that, except it's on a mask with a stick on it. So that's what happens with photo ops. Because I found out that people don't want photo ops with me. They want photo ops with Pazuzu.
Yeah, with the character.
And that's impossible. So that seems to work. So if you guys see me at conventions, you can get a picture of me and Pazuzu.
You can even bring your own mask. People can bring their own masks and you can say, here, wear this.
Except they've never ever come out with a Pazuzu mask.
Oh, that's right. I don't think
Yeah,
they
I don't
did.
know if it's because of Warner Brothers, the studio, or it's too hard to make. But they've never come out with a Pazuzu mask.
So you have a book that's I'm sorry. I'm like a bad person here. I haven't read it. But
you will on the plane as you go to Europe.
Exactly. We're getting ready to go to Europe, and I have reading material thanks to Eileen here. But in the book, you talk a little bit about how you got to be cast in The Exorcist. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, it's an amazing story, I think. And in New York City, when I was being an actress, I was a young actress. I hated aspiring, but that's, I actually would go meet people and see people and go to offices and stuff like that. It was like a 9-to-5 job getting work. And I walked up to a place called, it was the Equity Office, Actors Equity, and they had a casting breakdown for a show at a place called the Cabiculo. So I went over there and I actually found out the show had been cast, almost. But they let me read, and then they decided that I would do the show, called Ontological Proof of My Existence, which means there is no proof. And 2 agents came to see the show. And they called me the next day, and they said, would you like to audition for this movie, a horror movie called The Exorcist? And I said, yeah, of course. So I went to meet the casting director, and she talked to me for a while, and then she gave me the book of The Exorcist, which if you guys love The Exorcist and you read, you should buy the book. It's even better than the movie. But I digress. So she gave me the book and I took it home. And of course I read it immediately from cover to cover and went, wow. So how do you audition for a part of a demon? You know, right. Who knows? But I had this epiphany and I said, a wild animal. That's the closest that we know in this lifetime. So I went to the library and I got out, remember libraries? I took out a book about wild animals. And I worked on it in my room. I bought candles and I lit them and put in some spooky music, you know, and like the tiger would do. And so that was my preparation for it. And when I went back to the audition, they asked me to do both parts, which I also did for the screen test. I did a screen test. But it was kind of like, Mommy, 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 help me. Thou, you pig. And and I guess it was good enough because she asked me to come back. But then she said, can you get to be a little smaller? Which was really insane because I was really small then. I said, sure. And I used to get magazines that used to advertise wetsuits to lose weight. There were plastic suits that you just put on. But I didn't have time to do that, so I bought saran wrap. And I wrapped myself in saran wrap and rode my bicycle through Central Park. I don't know if it worked, but it was fun. And I did another audition for her, and then I met Billy Friedkin and Linda Blair and her mother and Dick Smith, the makeup artist, and met them. And then I went up to Dick Smith's place and to see if the prosthetics would work. That was for the part where I was the demon that possessed Reagan. So okay. I did the death scene and the masturbation scene, the vomiting scene, and all those kind of things.
The fight scene too, right?
Yeah,
yes.
That's my favorite scene. If I talked about that, I love shooting that. I actually probably
I can have you talking all day.
Should have talked about that and rather than shooting Pazuzu. I love shooting that.
We can talk about the fight scene. We got all day here.
Yeah, we'll be here forever.
Or they can buy the book. Is it in the book?
It's in the book.
There you go. Buy the book.
But it was fun because it was supposed to be by the numbers. And Jason Miller, you know, after trying to get Father Marin to come back to life, and it was supposed to be by the numbers. 1, 2, 3, grab me off the bed, throw me on the floor, blah, blah, blah. When they shot the scene, they said action. I looked at Jason. He looked like a German Shepherd. He had that animal. No numbers, no anything. He just grabbed me and threw me on the floor. My brain went, I don't want to be a stunt person. But then we did that, and then we did the whole thing. And then, of course, he goes outside the window. So
I love when you tell the stories. You just glow.
Well, like you said, this is my book. Da-da-da-da. And the story that everybody would love is how we shot the masturbation scene with just Billy Friedkin and myself. And I'll tell the beginning of it.
All right.
He had the crucifix, and he kept going like this, and even as young as I was, I knew that wasn't right. I knew it had to go this way, which was to a sponge, a bloody sponge, right there. But I didn't know how to tell him, and then he looked up, and everybody was taking pictures. Not everybody, it was the set photographer was taking pictures of him jerking off.
I've never seen these photos. They have to exist somewhere.
No, he took the film.
Oh.
It's just like in one of those movies.
Okay.
And he opened the camera and took the film and threw it on the floor and cleared the set. So it was just Billy Friedkin and me. But that's all in my book, and other stories that are just like that. So if you're interested, and you just go on Facebook and send me
Oh, they can get it directly through you.
Yeah, but they have to find me.
Yeah, right. So in the description of all those videos, you guys should know this by now, but I'm going to have all kinds of links where you can reach out to Eileen and then get the book and some other things.
You have my email on it?
I can put it on there if you'd like.
Okay.
All right.
But don't buy it on Amazon, because you won't get it autographed, and it amounts to the same money eventually.
Gotcha. Completely separate from The Exorcist. A lot of people know this by now, but in case you don't, this one's for you. Jason Miller, he has a very famous son.
Jason Patrick.
Jason Patrick, who was Michael in The Lost Boys.
Yes,
so
he was.
if you don't know that, you're living underneath a rock. Respectfully.
It's one of my favorite horror films,
Oh,
The Lost Boys.
Whenever we did Midsummer Scream, we were sitting next to them.
Oh, Jason was incredible.
Yeah.
People loved him. And then his son came up,
Oh, gosh.
whose grandfather was Jason
Yeah.
Miller.
And we geeked out a little bit. It was Eileen, it was us, Jameson Newlander, Billy Worth, Jason Patrick, and G. Tom Mack, and we were like right there at Grimm Life. And Jason Patrick's son is a fan of Grimm Life, so he came over. We gifted him all kinds of different things.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
it was fun.
There's many, a lot of horror people that are just great people, and we're very grateful to be where we are. And we also recognize the fact that one tiny percentage of people in the world or the country get to do what we do.
Right.
And there are times when I'm signing a picture or something, and I go, oh my God, people are paying me money to sign a picture. Isn't that remarkable? Isn't that nice? And then I forget about it and go do it. But I think that we're totally the chosen people to do what we do. And
That's pretty
you'll
neat.
see a lot of the actors out there are very, very grateful. And then you'll see some that are assholes.
Yeah. Which is, all respect to anybody and everybody.
Really?
So,
I don't.
Me and Pazuzu, don't know. Me and Pazuzu
I'm sitting next to
don't
the
do
demon
that.
herself. Of course, it's going to turn out like that.
You can't respect everybody. Then you're an enabler.
So, what is next for Eileen Dietz? Do you have any new projects coming out?
Yeah, actually I do, but is this the time to talk about?
Sure.
Yeah. What I'm really most excited about, and I've shot a lot of horror films. Fortunately, there are a lot of indies and stuff like that. But we have a movie called Night of the Caregiver, which is a two-person thriller, basically. And I play this elderly woman that lives on the outskirts of any place, like in Bumfuck. And she invites caregivers to come to her house every couple of years. And I play this woman, she's very sweet, and she serves tea and cookies. And then it's hard to talk too much about the movie because there's so many surprises in it and twists and stuff. But the caregiver comes to the house. So basically, it becomes the two of us in kind of a cat and mouse game. And you don't know what's going on. And it's scary. And you don't know what's going on with the two of us and what happens. And those are big twists. And it's only an hour and It's 77 minutes, so it's an hour and 17 minutes. As one reviewer said, how great to see a movie. It covers everything, and you're scared.
And it's not
stuff like
3
that.
hours long.
Yeah.
Well,
That's what I love to talk about. It's called Night of the Caregiver. And the official premiere is going to be in October, of course.
okay.
And you'll
Sadly,
be able
we're
to
gonna be
find it
gone.
on all platforms. And now you can get it on VOD. And
So you can watch it now.
you can watch it now.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm going to put the links to that where you can find it in the description of this video where all that stuff is.
And I really encourage all of you out there that want to go on Facebook if you like it. I guess if you don't like it, but if you like it, and to comment on it, because it's my contention right now, and I think you'll agree with me, that Facebook and Instagram can make or break a movie.
Yes.
It's not like the old days when you read the critics in the LA
Right.
Times or something, but Facebook and Instagram, they can make or break a movie. If they say don't go see it, it's horrible, it's long, it's ridiculous, you're going to lose. So hopefully everybody likes it. I haven't heard anybody that doesn't like it. So that's Night of the Caregiver.
Night of the Caregiver. And you're right, social media, especially in the world of horror, there's this big family element to it, but the family has to be genuine. You can't walk into the horror community or make something in the world of horror and just fake it. So check out the movie.
They need a script. And that's my other biggest thing. That even God said first there was the word.
Right.
And Shakespeare said speech to speech. You have to have a script. I don't care what actors are in it, what production values are in it, what kind of thing. If you don't have a script, you don't have a movie. And it's just as simple as that. And a lot of horror films coming out, they don't have a script. They just have horror. But you got to have a script.
Oh, I'll say this. Like YouTube, I love living in the world of YouTube, and we're never going to leave YouTube. But one of my biggest dreams in life is to write and direct horror.
Good.
And I love religious horror amongst everything. And if I ever get the chance to do that, I'm calling you. And I know where you live, so I'm going to come knock on your door.
For all you guys, I live in an old monastery.
I like to say it's a religious anomaly.
Anomaly. Do your fans know what anomaly means?
Yes. It'll be in the description of this video.
No, but you guys, that you want to make films and you make a film, make sure you have a script.
Gotcha.
You
Gotcha.
know.
Now, I have a big favor to ask.
Sure.
So at the end of every video, we say thank you for joining us on another grim adventure. And I raise my hands with spooky hands and I say Happy Halloween.
Okay. Yes?
Would you be up for saying Happy Halloween in the voice of Pazuzu?
I would be more than happy. I was going to suggest that Pazuzu says Happy Halloween.
Perfect.
How
Yes.
about both of us?
All right.
Can both of us say it?
Yeah. Should I do it in the voice? No, I'll do it normal.
You do it normal.
All right. So, yeah. Ready? Mm-hmm. With that being said, well, Jessica, get over here.
Oh, my leg was weak.
He's
Jessica's over
demanding.
there. Right? It's a family. It's a horror family.
And now
Where
I'm
at?
part of the family.
All right, ready? With that being said, thank you for joining us on another grim adventure. Until next time, happy Halloween.
And me and Pazuzu are going to say, Happy Halloween. Say something, Pazuzu.
Happy Halloween. But I'm busy
What are you busy doing?
possessing people. What do you think?
Actually, both of us say, have a wonderful Halloween, have fun, put on those costumes, be someone else for the day, and just have a good time.
See you guys.
Bye-bye. Oh, wait, Michael, before we close this, I talked so much about Night of the Caregiver, but I really have to give a shout out to the people who made it happen, starting with this amazing producer whose name is Alexander Nevsky, and he's about 6'3". I come up to his belly button. He's so great, and he so knows what he's doing. Directed by Joe Cornette, who also acted in the film, and Eric Roberts is in it. That I forgot, Craig Herman is the amazing writer, and you can't make a movie without a script as far as I'm concerned. And my co-star in the movie is this amazing actress named Natalie Denise Spiro. Look for her. She does a lot of stuff. She works Super Bowl. So anyway, that's Night of the Caregiver. Look at it. comment on Facebook or Eileen at EileenDietz.com, wherever you want to comment about it. I'd appreciate it. Bye-bye.
Wherever I come, bad luck just comes my way. Wherever I go, hard luck is there to stay. Good luck never stays a day. Bad luck's always